The Federalists versus the Democratic Republicans is our first political party system. Let's take a look at our second party system. And it all begins with opposition to Andrew Jackson. There are people upset with Jackson's bank policy and what he does to the Bank of the United States. There are people upset with what they perceive as expanding presidential power. Jackson's ignoring Supreme Court rulings. He is using the veto in a new manner. They're seeing the power of the president growing beyond what it outlines in the Constitution. And there are also people very upset with Jackson's stance against nullification. So, all of these different groups with different problems with Andrew Jackson come together, and they take the name the Whigs after a political party in Britain who opposed the king. This grows out of a nickname for Jackson, King Andrew I, after the way he's using the veto power and after the way he's expanding presidential power. Some people thought he was acting more like a king than a president. The Whig Party is actually a coalition of forces. It's National Republicans, it's ex-Federalists, it's people from the Anti-Masonic Party, it's people who believe in states' rights. It's all these different groups coming together. And they first formally unify in their attempt to censure Jackson. That's when the Senate formally declares that what you did was wrong and they are upset about it and are admonishing you for it. This formal condemnation comes as a result of the bank war. Henry Clay pulls together the National Republicans. Daniel Webster pulls together a lot of the people in New England who were former Federalists. You have states' rights advocates from the South, and you have people in the Anti-Masonic Party who are against secret societies and are much more evangelical Protestants, really concerned with controlling morality in society and restricting sinful behavior. This group, the Anti-Masonic Party, also joins with the other groups to form the Whigs. They tried to censure Jackson, and that is blocked, but nonetheless, Jackson is upset about it. In the Whig Party, we have mostly industrialists, so people who are manufacturing in the Northeast. We have merchants. We have many very successful farmers. And the Whig Party, as opposed to their opposition, are going to be more likely to be Protestant than any other religion. The Whigs also believe in an active government in the economy. They believe the government should use a protective tariff to support American industries. They should use that revenue to pay for internal improvements like roads and canals, and that the government should continue to support a second Bank of the United States. However, that's going to die in 1836. They also believe in government enforcing decency. In other words, laws against excessive drinking, laws against gambling and dueling. In other words, the Whigs supported what they called a positive liberal state, that government should support and protect industries that help the economy grow and help promote decency or morality in society. On the other side, we have the Democrats, and the Democrats see themselves as the common man's party. They are the party against the wealthy elite. They are the party trying to mobilize the masses, the common people, the populace. They are against the tariff. They are opposed to excessive government intervention in the economy. They don't think the federal government should be spending tax dollars on internal improvements. State governments can do that if they want to, but not federal money. They are opposed to the Bank of the United States, and they are opposed to government being overly involved in people's personal lives. If people want to drink, they should be allowed to drink. If they want to gamble, they should be allowed to gamble. Overall, the Democrats differ from the Whigs in that they feel the government should not interfere in the economy. In the Democratic Party, we have some Westerners, we have some Southerners, we have a lot of immigrants, and we have some small farmers, or sometimes called yeoman farmers. These are people who own a small plot of land that they can support themselves with, and they don't have any slaves farming it either. So there are some people maybe working in manufacturing, but not people that own the manufacturing. And with all these immigrants, a Democrat is much more likely to be Catholic than a Republican. That has a lot to do with a wave of Irish immigrants that begin arriving in this time period. The Panic of 1837 further divides the parties. And this is a result of the panic beginning as a result of the pet banks loaning out too much money. President Jackson tried to stop these problems with the Specie Circular Act, which would have required people buying government land to only use hard money. And he's able to get it passed, but the problems only get worse, and people blame Jackson for that. Martin Van Buren gets elected in 1836, takes office in 1837, but with major problems in the economy and advocating a hands-off policy approach to the economy, he can't really solve the difficult issues with the U.S. economy while he's in office, and he doesn't have a very successful presidency. This second party system culminates in the election of 1840, and historians often refer to this as the first modern presidential campaign. We have two national parties who have each nominated one candidate who are going to campaign in all of the states in the Union. As a result, we have slogans, we have campaign songs, we have campaign buttons sold. There is a real push in the election of 1840 by both parties to get out the vote of the common man. In that election, the Whig, William Henry Harrison, who was a former war hero, beats Martin Van Buren in his bid for re-election. And it looks like the people are supporting the American system, possibly restoring the bank, raising the tariff, and spending money on internal improvements like roads and canals.